Recall. You and I were both like super excited about AI PC Copilot Plus, and then you lost Recall. Are we getting Recall back?
Yeah, so a little backstory here. Recall was the premier feature for the generative AI enabled version of Windows 11. It essentially allowed you to have an indefinite memory. Okay, actually not indefinite. It scales with the amount of storage you have on the device, but essentially it would take snapshots of every application that is open on your desktop at various times. It would store that, and then it would essentially allow you to query all of that data. So here's a for instance, right? We met with the CEO and the number two of a company yesterday, right? And it would have been nice if I could go in there and do a search on their names and see all the different touch points that we had, let's say over the last 6 months that I had with the company, right? And it would scan what I've done on the web. It would scan WhatsApp. It would scan Word. Basically, every application it takes snapshots to be able to do. And then it would give me all of these different touch points that I had with those senior executives and the companies. And by the way, even on Windows, they have an app called Phone Link where I pull in text messages. So text messages would be in there as well. So a lot of benefit. A lot of people really screamed, and I'm empathetic on this security nightmare and privacy nightmare. And on the security side, right, Microsoft, there's been increased scrutiny on their security, and their president, was testifying in front of Congress, and then on security, and the day after, Microsoft pulled Recall meaning saying we are not going to be announcing this. It was first opt out and in there, and then it became opt out, and then it got moved to we're putting this in the Insider Edition. Okay, which is kind of think of that like a beta version that you have to sign up for. And you can only access it via Windows Hello. So a lot of changes at the same time. The industry, most in the industry, I feel were pretty sad, particularly those people who have stake in selling in and selling out AI PCs. So to make a long story even longer,
You're
the
doing
date,
that today.
yeah, I
That's your
know the
thing.
date is not June. It's not June opt out on every version of AI PC. It's now going to be in October, Windows Insider opt in, Windows Hello. So big changes. I got to tell you, I am going to use this. I'm going to turn this thing on and use it for everything because Dan, I'm Gen X, I'm older, and I need help with memory. I will turn it off on certain applications that I don't feel comfortable doing that on. I kind of view it like history in a browser, right? Which is pretty much you've got history turned on. You can go in and see everything you've done for however long you've had it without clearing it. If you don't want to be tracked, then or you can just delete all your history or turn it off, right? If you're trying to cover your tracks for something. And that's the kind of the way I see this. Now, it is aggregating a lot of information. It is resident only on the PC. It is not transmitting this to the cloud. In fact, there's over 40 different models that come with AI PCs that will enable this capability on the device itself. And that's where the 40 tops from Qualcomm and soon to be AMD and Intel with Lunar Lake will come out and have operating support for this. 15 years ago, if you would have asked me, hey, there's going to be this service where I'm going to take pictures, I'm going to tell people exactly where I am in real time, you'd be like, man, that's creepy. That's just like, you know, privacy is like a boiling frog. Like we get used to it. And as long as we see corresponding benefit from the privacy intrusions, we're willing to do it. I mean, Instagram, I mean, they are mining everything, right? Honest, we don't turn Instagram off, right? Anyways, yeah, I really made a one-line news release pretty long.
You really did. You really did. And that's okay, Pat. This was the mega moment for the AIPC. And so I tend to think this was a very important update. The market was kind of like, this was the feature that was like, why jump in head first? I mean, of course, these
Yeah.
things are more powerful. They got great battery life. There's a lot of cool things going on with these next gen devices. But this ability for old people like you to be able, I'm just kidding, everybody there, boom, boom, shh. I don't need recall because I remember everything. But like for most people, they do. And the truth is, Pat, I like that you have the opportunity to opt in and out depending on the application. There's some really like interesting questions I think that we're all going to kind of need to reflect on about like, so we've really not thought much about like most of my company runs on a lot of Google apps, Pat. I think you have a Google app shop for some of your stuff too.
Back
And
end,
my
yeah.
point though is like there is in the MSAs like some privacy agreements, but we all know that there's also these certain alarms with companies that index the internet, like a Google or Microsoft's, that when you give them like you hope that the data. And by the way, I genuinely believe the intent is there, but at the same time, like we remember the Slack thing where they told everybody what company's favorite emojis were. Remember that thing, like
Yeah.
where we're like, is my data truly my data? And beyond, you and I standing up our own private data center and building out a VCF instance or a fully, Linux based, running as the mainframe, we're depending on third parties to basically. So what I'm saying though is like something that you would not think twice about your email, but are you going to, for instance, use recall to index your email, in certain ways? I don't know, or different applications, social apps, like, because again, it's like it's already all going out there. So what are you going to limit it to? What are the things that you're really worried about? I think it becomes pervasive. I really do. I think it becomes pervasive. And I think the security of it all, Pat, comes down to like saying, I want to run it in this app, but I want all the data to stay here. And so that's the big opportunity with these AI PCs, is that it's got this powerful NPU on device. It can do all this kind of cool generative stuff without needing to always process in the cloud. So exciting times, Pat. Good moment. Congratulations on getting it out. It was, a little.
It's not out yet, buddy.
Sorry, the delay on getting a commitment to get it out.
Yeah.
Remember, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
It does. It really does. Makes me want it more. And I hope while they were in there on the security machinery, they did some optimizations.
Is that a Frenchie? I don't know.
That is an absolute Frenchie standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, and he's got a nice little cute little beret on.
A little woof on my.
Don't give me any ideas about what I might need to dress up my Frenchies in.
Oh, your little Frenchies. Anyways, tell them not to hop off the bed; they'll break their legs.